I would give my life right now for my brother. I'll put myself 6 foot underground just so he can stand up and on his 2 feet and just be alive for one day without a second of a thought.
I wanted to learn how to be giving, and when I met Ryan, dude, I would just watch, like, just him and I. There's no one else for him to show. He's just eating a sandwich. He's a homeless guy on the side of the road. Literally gave the guy the entire Subway sandwich that we just bought 30 seconds ago. I'm like, wait, what are you gonna eat then?
You know, Az used to say that as well. He's like, why would I jump on stage and compete in my fucking underwear for a whole bunch of old men to judge how good my body is? Because I'll go to a festival and I'll just have chicks tell me how good I look. And I was like, interesting mindset. 22, 23 is when I first started using PEDs. I was silly, you know. I was doing like Chesty like 500 mgs and Tren at like 400 mgs a week.
Oh, damn.
For like a year, 2 years straight while going to like every second rave. We are live.
We are live, boys. We are live with the special guest, dude. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you for a minute.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I told you a little bit about how you guys inspired me. So
yeah,
one of my OGs. I've talked about this in a while, and I've talked about this a bunch in my podcast. But guys, we have Chestbrah, Sergeyevich.
Very close. Said Sergeyevich. I want to see you try my last name.
Sergeyevich?
Savershian. Sergeyevich is my middle name.
Oh, that's your middle name?
Yeah. Someone actually stole my last name on Instagram, so I had to do my middle name when I first...
Savershian?
Yeah. So
I wouldn't be surprised, bro.
Yeah, so I had to like use my middle name. The
Savershian brothers.
Fucking annoying, dude. I'm like, who took my identity?
This is fucking Zyzz's brother in the flesh. It was these guys who went to the OG raves in Australia, hit some fucking crazy hardstyle sets, looked aesthetic as fuck, started the aesthetics movement.
I've seen you following the lead, dude, doing the whole raves down here at Cali and doing your thing as well. So
dude, I swear to God.
I see where the inspiration comes from, and it touches my heart too, bro. I love it, bro. It's really nice.
No,
and even just hearing like wrapping up that the session that we did, and to hear those nice kind of words. Shows me a lot about the kind of person you are, and yeah, dude.
Thanks, man.
It's really nice. It's always really nice for me to hear that kind of stuff. Like I fuck with that kind of shit. Super, super nice.
Well, you fucking deserve it, man, because you guys are. It's a big deal. It really is.
Thanks, bro. Now you're making me shy. Thanks,
like,
brother.
Asians in the community have always been raving for a long time, but there ain't without a fact, those fucking videos from YouTube decades back are the things that really got me into raving and like getting shredded. Damn. Caring about my physique, caring about me as a person and how I'm building myself up as a man, you know? It's like
I like that, dude.
That shit.
And it's the same and it's the same even back home as well. We got easy, but dude, thank you, dude. Bye. I'll see you soon. Speak to you soon. Don't fucking run away on me.
Is their boy Mendoza?
Yes.
What's his first name?
The Mendoza, Alex Mendoza.
Yeah. For some client calls.
Alrighty, man.
All right.
We are on your podcast, man.
Yeah.
You've been trying to do this for a while.
Yeah, man, it has.
Yeah, and I know like you I've known about you for the past year actually. And I've only gotten onto like your content, to be quite honest, probably in the last 6 months when you signed with doing the work with Aesthetic Cosmetics. My business partners like introduced me to you, and they're like, "Oh, this guy working for the brand," and then they showed me photos. I was like, "Oh, this guy looks kind of cool," and then I just started like just looking at your Instagram. And I was like, "Fuck!" Like he's got an awesome rig, IFBB Pro. I'm like, "Hell yeah!" I'm like, "This is the kind of shit I like to see," and I'm like, "He's raving, he's living life." He's enjoying himself and he's very holistic in his lifestyle and, you know, your habits. And like, I like that kind of stuff, man. And it's like a different approach to bodybuilding and aesthetics in the fitness industry, like which not many people obviously take. So,
well, I think in a lot, that's actually one of the things that I always sometimes consider myself. I always feel a little bit unsure about. I think there's a reason that a lot of people don't take that route is because, you know, IFBB Pro bodybuilding is a very serious place because there's a lot of health consequences that come with that. And then raving also is also a place where, if not done properly, also a lot of health consequences come out of that too.
Hell yeah.
So since I'm kind of like one of the only ones that really tends to openly show my combination of both, it tends to get, its own critique from a lot of different people who are just like, oh, you're mixing drugs and you're doing all this shit.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? End of the day, like it's good that you put yourself out there, Niall, because I feel like more people see like the real you and the ups, the downs, the journey, what you're all about, not just like obviously your outer shell, like what you look like. It's just there's so much more to a human being, a person, than just the exterior. You know, the exterior is cool, like it's awesome. This is what draws the person in, the shell, but the heart is what captures the person and the personality. So if you're showing that through obviously the activities that you do, the things that you love, the lifestyle that you live, like you're essentially inspiring a different group of people to come into bodybuilding. And that's essentially kind of like what I'm all about. So that's why I'm here, man. I kind of like the shit that you do. I think you're
dude.
cool.
I do really want to be smart though about like while I'm doing this, I want people to understand that there are really big consequences when it comes to like combining these two. There's huge consequences.
And you can't do both
like,
together. Like if you're either doing one, like if you're competing, you can't be partying.
You have to be absolutely 100% conscious about everything you're putting in your body. Like, for example, when I'm partying, I haven't drank for like 6 years, and so that's a big aspect that allows me to, still go out, but I'm not destroying my liver by combining different substances that are going to increase the toxicity. Because
the way you got to look at it is like, for example, what it would be worse? Someone that goes out every weekend and gets drunk every weekend, doesn't have to be excessively, but just drinks every weekend, goes out to the club, or someone that goes to the occasional rave once every 2-3 months and just lets loose on one night for like maybe like eight hours, really. Well, like what's really worse, like the guy who's going out every weekend drinking and accumulating all that damage to the liver in their body, or the guy who does it like once in a blue moon and then goes back to his clean habits and then back to his lifestyle.
And then there's also being aware and conscious about what he is taking in that one night. Like making sure he's not mixing anything that is going to cause crazy interactions because he's done his research prior.
And dude, that's something
people don't understand that.
Young people,
that's required.
Especially young people, don't understand that. The young people think they're invincible, bro. Like these 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, they're out there just doing all these drugs, dude. And it's just like, dude, like, okay, we get it. Like everyone likes to party, but just like slow your shit down, or just understand what you're putting in your body, or just like if you're gonna have a good time, like everyone wants to have a good time, but just there's limits to everything, like you can't get lost in either game, in the competing game or in the rave scene either. Cause like pretty easy to get lost in both industries, I feel. And lots of people do.
I think that's
Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that's where a lot of the hate and the critiques can come from too, is when they just say like my image, first perspective, and just purely based off of assumptions. They're like, oh, this guy's partying and he's doing like real bodybuilding and stuff at the same time. He's just taking a bunch of drugs and a bunch of steroids and a bunch of other shit. Yeah. Like this guy's like, fuck this guy. Like he's doing a bad impression. But that's why I created this podcast.
People hate what they don't understand. Like what they don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, like if they don't understand it, if they're not with it, they'll just hate. But yeah, I think like what you were just saying just then.
If those people are only going to like judge me off of that first second of assumption, then that's fine. They can do whatever. I couldn't care less. But I'm here to like create a positive impact and help those in the way that you have, but also also strongly press health. And so that's what this podcast is supposed to be for. At least a big reason for this podcast, so that I can at least go more in depth into like what is important when doing things like this to make sure that you're staying safe. Because at the end of the day, like if you do care about your life and you're enjoying your life, you're enjoying partying, you're enjoying doing all these things, you want to make sure that you're around to like enjoy it, right?
Well, yeah. And that you're doing it in the most safest way possible. Because let's be honest, like if anyone has even a slight inclination of like a thought of like, just partying or whatever, like they're going to do it. So you might as well, teach and guide through experience. I know you're a little bit older, and so you've probably had your years of experience. You've had your growth and your mental growth, physical growth. So you can obviously help and inform and teach your followers how you navigated through it with your life, because people don't know, dude. You'd be surprised how many people don't know so many things about different compounds, about narcotics and all sorts of things, about what they should and shouldn't be doing. Like one big thing is like, dude, you can't mix party drugs with like steroids and PEDs. Like you can't. It's a sure way to kill yourself. Like, you know what I mean? So if you're going to pick one, you pick one. And if you have seasons of like, you're going to go out and do this, then do that. But don't be abusing your body with steroids and PEDs and trying to diet and compete at the same time. Like pick one or the other. You can't do both at the same time. I mean, I don't do both at the same time anymore. I used to, and that's how I learned through my own mistakes and lessons. Like I'm like, shit, man. Like I can't be doing PEDs and I can't be partying and going to these events and then just feeling even more like shit. So I'm like, all right. So as I got older, I'm like, okay, I obviously enjoy partying. I like the rave scene. I like going out. I like to dance. I like to socialize. It's always been in me, and I think it always will be in me. And I thought to myself, what's the best way to kind of like do that without hurting myself? And I realized that, if I'm competing or prepping for a competition, then that's all my focus and energy and time is spent on, and I won't even be doing anything on the other side of the fence that I just mentioned, and vice versa as well. Like if I'm just partying like I have been now, like I'm not really running PEDs at all. Like I'm basically just doing TRT at the moment, dude. 125 mg test.
125, that's low.
It, bro. Yeah, dude.
It's even lower than I do, and I normally do much lower than most people.
What do you do?
I go from 140 to 150 when I'm just straight TRT.
Oh wow! Okay.
And it puts me at a high range. It puts me like I think it's always above. It's always above 900.
140 is a pretty high range for TRT. Like they say, like TRT is like. I mean, Greg Doucet was telling me his TRT was like 100 mg a week, and he's pretty open about that stuff too. So
does he know? Does he tell you what total test that puts him at?
No, he didn't mention that to me, to be honest. I think, yeah, he hasn't mentioned that to me, but
everyone responds differently.
Exactly. And I feel like when I do 125, I feel great. I feel it's like a therapeutic dose, and I'll do that like once. I did initially start doing it once every 10 days, but then I moved it down to just once a week. So 1 pin a week of 125. And I'll just run that for like, honestly, most of the year. Like right now, just chilling out, traveling, because there's no point putting all these PEDs in my system if I'm like not competing. Like,
yeah.
And I learned that by becoming a bodybuilding competitor. When I started doing my first comps, I'm like, why the hell have I been partying and using PEDs at the same time?
Right.
This is so stupid. And that's how I learned through my own mistakes. And like my thing is like, I want to teach people through my mistakes that don't make my mistakes. So they can be like, okay, cool, Chesty's done this. Maybe I don't have to go through the pain and suffering that he did to learn these, to learn these valuable lessons. And maybe I could just take on board what these older gentlemen are saying, so I can, go down a path that's a little bit more safer, and give people a different perspective as well on partying. Because, dude, like I party now most of the time, like sober, dude. I'll just drink. I used to would take drugs, but now I'm so like very wary, like you said, of what I put in my body. Like I'm more scared and I'm more conscious as I'm getting older of everything that I put in my body, dude. And I'm just like always trying to think of ways that I could just look after myself. So if I'm going to go to a rave, my options in the past would be, okay, let's take drugs and let's have fun. But now I'm like, okay, you know what? I might just drink alcohol. I might just take some pre-workout. I might take a sachet of like pre-workout and then just have that. And I might not even go for as long because I can't last as long. I might just go for like 3-4 hours. But those are the sacrifices I have to make for like my health and longevity. And that's why I feel like I'm still in the game at 37 years of age, because I made those changes. Or, dude, I wouldn't be here. I would not have been here. Let me tell you, dude, I would have been gone a long time ago. Would have burnt out, and we know a lot of people in the industry that are kind of like living that life without mentioning any names that are burning out. So I don't want that to happen to like the new gen. So I want them to kind of like learn through my own experiences, as I'm sure you do, which is why you do this podcast, I guess.
And dude, you look great for 37.
Thanks.
You look fucking great,
dude,
bro.
I didn't even know you were 20,
I thought this
28.
guy was like 31.
I'll take that.
Oldest.
I'll take that.
Seriously. Insane.
You're 28, did you say?
27.
27. Okay. Now I thought maybe like 23, 24. But when I heard you speak, I'm like, no, this guy's pretty mature. I'm like, yeah, probably at 27, 28.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. So what are we talking about, man? I know you said you got some surprises, and I know you want to keep it like super raw and real.
Yeah. So off your last topic, I'm actually curious. Obviously, you don't ever have to talk about anything you're not comfortable about.
Sure, of course.
Because I care more about us just having a fun conversation.
No shit, yeah.
But would you be comfortable going a little bit more in depth in regards to like when you were talking about how you used to do more PEDs and raving together, and then maybe like how you felt that it affected you, like what PEDs and like raving aspects of raving in particular?
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. It's a good question. I'm trying to decide where can I start from. I guess the PEDs I was doing when I was younger, when I was like 22, 21, 22, 23 is when I first started using PEDs. I was silly, I was doing like test at like 500 mgs and tren at like 400 mgs a week.
Oh, damn.
For like a year, 2 years straight, while going to like every second rave, like that was on bloody almost every month, you know what I mean? And then I'd go through these months and I'd be popping Molly and, drinking a lot and mixing that with the PEDs. And then, you can get away with it for a certain while you're young because your body recovers quick, yeah? You wake up, you don't feel as run down, you don't feel as tired. But as you've probably noticed, and as everyone notices as you get older, shit changes, dude. Your body punishes you for you punishing your body.
Yeah.
Your body's saying, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
it absolutely
you stop
does.
doing this to me. I'm going to teach you a lesson. You're going to be bedridden for a week. You're going to be depressed. You're going to feel like shit. Your dopamine levels are going to be down. Your serotonin is going to be down. You're going to feel like crap if you keep going on this path. And yeah, you can probably get away with it when you're young, but then I guess mixing those compounds, the tren and the test, and it wasn't even low doses. It was like moderate to high doses for someone who really wasn't a bodybuilder. I was more like a gym bro. You know, I didn't even fucking train my legs, dude. I was just training chest and arms day every fucking day. Like I was like a proper I was more of a party boy than a gym head. But then over the years, the tide kind of shifted, and I became really passionate about bodybuilding, as bodybuilding was like my saving grace through my pain and my trauma and all the shit that I've been through. So I use bodybuilding as an outlet to kind of like forget about partying and going out and like getting on drugs and all this stuff. And then
that is an interesting way.
And then naturally I kind of just moved away from the partying. So even now to these days, like if I go to a festival here and there, I don't really enjoy it. The funny thing is I know it sounds silly, but a lot of the times I go there to be seen, you know, because I know it's good for my name, my image, my branding, my PR, because that's what's associated kind of like with my image growing up, you know, that Chesty and Zyzz, those rave guys that go to festivals and are super shredded and tan in the little short shorts, but also train really, really hard. That's just what we were known for. So, you know, that part of me will never leave, but I can definitely change the habits of how I live my life, which is what I've done. And it made me feel at the time, you know, pretty low, worthless. The scat and the come downs were absolutely horrendous, really, really bad, combining the both. And I guess
the come downs are worst.
Oh,
the
man.
worst. And the mental health too from the PEDs.
Yeah, dude. And
like,
you don't,
Jesus.
You don't even realize because you're so into it, you're so engorged in that you are you, so you don't know. Like, but then,
especially the more new it is, you're just not familiar with the feelings.
Because they haven't experienced not feeling it.
Exactly.
So when they don't feel it, for example, I was feeling like shit, and then I'm like, all right, let's change it up and let's not do it like this. Then I started feeling more holistic and just better within myself and just more free, more myself. Like I felt free. I felt alive. I felt like there wasn't a grasp and a hold on me. It's hard to explain. Fuck, it's so hard to explain. I just felt more alive and more in tune with who I am. And I think when I felt that, I kind of wanted to preach that to the world and be like, hey guys, like the grass is actually greener on the other side. Like, it really is. Like I know it sounds boring, like fucking take a cold shower, go to steam room. I do the same shit you do, bro. You know what I mean? The Wim Hof, the cold showers, the steam rooms. Like I'm super anal about my food. I eat organic food. I prep all my meals now. But before it was mostly the partying and the bodybuilding was just like a substitute. But now it's like completely 180. And now if I go out and party, I keep it super chill, bro. Like I'll just go around, walk around, get photos like with my fans, meet everyone. It makes me feel good. Like I smile. I walk home, and a lot of the times I'll be like super sober, bro. I wouldn't do anything, man. I jumped on stage with DJ Flume like about 2 months ago before I came here. And dude, I was shitting my pants, man. I was so scared. I was like, fuck, this guy wants me to jump on stage and muzz in like front of like 10,000 people. The old Chesty would have been like, fuck, man, I need to fucking take some pills, some coke, alcohol. I need to do all this just to like get in the zone. But dude, I did it fucking sober, bro. I just like psyched myself up in the back. I'm like, dude, you got this, bro. Like you've been doing this for fucking years. Why are you nervous? Go out there and just
part of the rush is just doing it sober, right?
And then putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation is what elicits growth. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, bro. What's the worst that can happen? They fucking laugh you off the stage? Whatever, man. Life goes on. So I jumped on and just did my thing and did it sober and had a fucking awesome time. Went home, had a good sleep, woke up fresh, went and trained legs. That shit wouldn't happen if I was like still in the old habits. So I want people to know that, look, you can do both and you can be healthy about it and you can be safe about it. And it's sad that a lot of the society and a lot of people and a lot of bodybuilders in the industry judge people like you and me for the lives we live, even though we're pretty damn serious about our bodybuilding and we're very, very safe and mature about our approach to partying, especially as we've gotten older. What do you think of that? Would you have anything to add to that, or?
Just to clarify, can you repeat the last sentence again? You said about...
Yeah, so the bodybuilders, like there's a lot of judgment in our industry of like bodybuilders judging people like you and me that obviously promote the rave culture and also promote bodybuilding, thinking that, as you mentioned before, that all we do is just fucking take drugs and a whole bunch of PEDs and we don't train hard and we just like have the party physiques, which is exactly the opposite. Like you're an IFBB pro. I'm a WBFF pro. That doesn't just happen if you're a rave party guy and who's not taking his training and dieting and supplementation serious. It doesn't just happen like that. You don't just wake up one day and become a pro of a federation. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? Like there's sacrifices to be made. So obviously one side of the pendulum would have swung and there would have been sacrifices. All right, I have to sacrifice the partying a bit to earn the pro card. Or, you know, if you want to go party, you got to sacrifice a lot of your time that you spend like in the gym and training and dieting to go out and party. So
it's all about how you tactically
balance.
Yeah, the balance, but in the way that I personally did it was tactically using every single thing that I did in order to improve myself in the other area. Whatever it was that I did it in order to improve myself in all the other areas. So, and I agree with you. There's just so much bad stigma about mixing partying, raving, and bodybuilding in the industry. And like, I can understand for good reason. It comes from a good place. It comes from a good place, but it also comes from
ignorance, a little bit of ignorance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think that can help if I think it's because maybe we're just not quite as open about exactly the precautions that we take that are absolutely necessary in order for us to do this.
Because it's scary.
We kind of only talk about it on like podcasts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But
how are you supposed to talk about it in a video? You can't. Everything's like,
it's hard, and then there's not really much engagement. It doesn't really get seen very much.
Nope.
So yeah.
But something like this, you can truly open up and just speak about it, like, you know, and then people can see you for who you are, and then they can make their own judgments. At the end, they can be like, all right, is this guy a degenerate party rave head bodybuilder, or is he actually like a really smart, intelligent man who's got his shit together?
So the way that I see it is that I loved this combination. I love this industry, and it's not because, oh, I gotta like take a bunch of different drugs to feel amazing. No, it's the fact that it's the fact that I worked my ass off in the gym to get this amazing physique that I'm proud of, that I was able to show the fuck off in raving, feel fucking amazing, feel confident in myself, and just have a great time with a lot of really dope, cool people. That was the best part about it. And then going to those festivals, I hate cardio. That's my least favorite thing. But when I go to a festival, I fucking love it. I love it, dude. I will headbang so hard. I will shuffle the entire time. I will run 20,000, 40,000 steps across to the other stage just to have a great time with people. It's the best fucking time in the world, and I'm always damn shredded afterwards. Not just because
you're running around and dancing.
That's just because I burned so many calories. Exactly. But like, you're just sweating so much out. Dude, you're sweating so much out. And in regards to like things that I was taking back in the past when I first started raving, absolutely, dude. I've tried every drug under you know, except for like
the hard ones. I get you.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do heroin anytime soon.
Neither.
But
that's one drug I would never ever do.
But stereotypical rave drugs, I feel like I've done every one under the sun. And I had its time, very short period of time. Felt amazing. Also had the worst crashes in my entire life. Exactly. And so you just like most people, when they go partying and then they get over partying and they start having a family, and then it's because they've been there and they've done that. They get over it.
Spot on.
They've had their experiences. Now the stimulation that you receive from whatever it is, the drug, the person, the going out, the partying, it just slowly goes down. But because you've already experienced it.
Exactly. But then there's nothing to say you can't find other dopamine rushes. For example,
other places in
bodybuilding. That was my dopamine rush from moving from partying.
Right.
And that happened like as I got older, I moved into obviously competing and stuff, because I knew to myself, I'm like, okay, I can't keep this lifestyle of partying up. Moving into my 30s, like, it's fucking exhausting.
Right.
Like, shit, man. Man's fucking tired. Man just wants to go to bed, you know? And then it was just easy because I was just fucking fed up of that feeling like shit and being like having a come down all the time and not fucking sleeping and not having enough food and rest. And I looked weathered and haggard in the face and run down. I mean, shit, you said you saw me, like, dude, how are you 37? Like, because I look after myself, bro. I'm like, my cortisol.
Exactly, I try to keep my feel great. You've been
so
getting a good
like,
sleep,
exactly,
good nutrition.
Bro. And you can see that, and not in just someone's physique, but obviously through someone's like face and skin and hair and just how they are and their mannerisms. Like, it just shows, bro. You can see someone who's stressed and going through a lot because they're combining the both. And then you can see someone who's kind of got their shit together and is a little bit more chill about it.
Yeah.
But those guys have had their pain and they've gone through their journey. But I mean, I think I know what you're trying to do with the podcast. You want to kind of steer people, and especially young people, in the right direction so they don't make the same mistakes, I guess, that we did when we were young.
Right. Yeah, that would be the best case scenario for sure. I think because my audience is probably very similar to yours.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I just did like a tag on my story before, and everyone's like, "Oh man, you and Niall together, Asian Goku, Mediterranean Goku." They're going crazy.
That's so funny.
I'm like, that's kind of cute. I'm like,
it's
nice.
like when do you feel like most people come up to you in like a period of like a couple hours at a rave? At a rave,
not at a bodybuilding expo.
No, yeah,
not even at a bodybuilding show. Like a lot at bodybuilding expos, but at a rave, dude, it's unreal.
At a rave, it's always
unreal. I can't even walk, dude, in Sydney, and I'm sure you can say the same for your hometown. I can't go to a festival in Sydney now.
Oh, dude.
Being like, it's like, all right, I know if I'm going to go, I'm like, okay, how many photos am I going to get today? Like 1,000, 2,000? I'm like, am I actually going to?
But it's like the best place too.
It's kind of
have
cool.
That happen.
It's kind of
to
cool.
meet cool people. Because what do you love doing the most? Going to festivals and bodybuilding and like meeting cool people, right?
I love
like being social and meeting amazing.
I was a really shy guy when I first started partying, going to the raves. So going to raves was an escape for my shell and my personality, just to really like explore who I really was and just to open up and meet new people, man. Not just because at the time all my friends were just people that went to the gym. And then when I went to the rave scene, I met like cool dudes that were like into the same music that I was into. I'm like into trance, hardstyle, all sorts of EDM, you know, and I just met like-minded individuals that I could share passions with. And, you know, I have a lot of my followers always messaging me saying, hey man, like how can I find like friends to go with to a rave, or like I want to meet people that are also into trance and hardstyle, and we can have a little crew like you and you guys did back in the day. And it's like, I feel bad for them because it's like, I understand like it's everyone wants to belong. Everyone wants to have unity. So that was my happy place. You know what I mean? That was like you said, like I fucking hate cardio too, but at a festival, dude, I'd be running around doing laps, doing push-ups, putting people on my shoulders, and I would treat everyone the same. I would treat everyone equally. I didn't care how you look. I don't care how much muscle you have. It's like, if you're a good person, I will treat you like a good person. If you're a shit person, then I'll just ignore you. Like, you know what I mean? I'll just give you the silent treatment. So it really opened up my eyes to, who I really was and what I really like wanted out of life. And that was just like pure bliss and happiness, listening to good tunes and just being myself and showing off my body. I know it might sound naive to some people and simplistic or even narcissistic, but I genuinely enjoyed it, and I still do. I don't know what to say. You know?
Okay, so tactically talking about how we tactically improved ourselves in different areas, say bodybuilding, income, a combination with raving. Would love to hear your input if you did any of this as well. But back in the past, when I used to do things like festivals and bodybuilding, I would tactically use both of those in order to improve myself in both places. So bodybuilding, fitness, getting ready for a show. While I was getting ready for the show, I'd be getting leaner. I'd see that as a way for me to actually also look festival and look festival ready, have myself conditioned for the festival. And then going to the festival, I saw that as a perfect way for me to get as much activity and steps in as possible, a high TDEE. I would also smuggle in protein bars and protein powder to make sure I was still maximizing protein synthesis the entire time and not burning through too much muscle. And then in regards to things like whatever substances I was taking, I would ensure that I wasn't anything that would anything that affected my heart too much that would interact with each other. So I would avoid uppers such as ecstasy, cocaine, clen. I would avoid all those. Right. I would avoid mix. I would exactly
stupidest mix ever, guys. Please, if you're at a rave, don't do clen and ecstasy together. Fuck me, do not do that.
I definitely want to ask you that in a second.
Yeah, I did that and I almost fucking died, dude. So I don't want people to do that at all.
Yeah, that's one of my So clen and ecstasy, for example, anything that will
sure recipe to a hospital, dude, or a heart attack.
And then great, I just lost my train of thought. What else? So I don't do any alcohol whatsoever because obviously liver. You know, PEDs is going to affect your liver, especially if you're taking any orals. Also, extra calories and empty calories that aren't going to contribute to your gains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I know what you mean. My approach was a lot different. I didn't really think about those kind of things when I was raving. I was just in the moment, and I was a young kid. That kind of stuff came, with a bit of maturity as I got older. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to this rave sober.
These are all things that I learned progressively as I continued to rave, and I would write notes on them in my phone, and then just make sure that every single time I raved, I would add things and like this is proactive stuff I took before the rave, so that at the rave
My
I
question
can enjoy.
is, how many meals would you snuggle into a rave, and how would like you can fit one chicken and rice down your pants, but how many?
It was hard, bro. I would have a
you know
fucking.
what I mean? Those
I would
guys
have a
take,
whole pack
those
of
guys
protein
take guns
bars
off
that
you, man. Like
I would have a whole pack of protein bars that I'd try to stuff in my pants. And if I couldn't fit it all in my junk in my underwear, then I would like try to ask my friends and see if they would smuggle some in their pants too. I had like there was a few times I brought like 8 protein bars in a rave because each one was 20 grams of protein, and I wanted to make sure I had like at least 160 grams of protein within the span of those 10 hours.
So you eat. We were consciously like putting a timer
I put a timer on my clock on my phone.
You seem like the meticulous type.
Yeah,
you seem like the meticulous type.
The thing would ring in the middle of set. Pop that protein bar out right there.
Shit, Darren Styles is about to play. Quest bar time. Let's go. Oh shit, Code Black. Let's go. 2 hours ahead. Let's go. I get it. It's meticulous.
It also helped though with the energy levels.
I can understand. Yeah, because no one eats at raves, right?
Yeah, no one eats at raves.
They just eat drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
You're out there eating protein bars and dancing. So really,
right?
You're just really fucking doing cardio, and you're probably having like a deload day without training, without lifting weights, but you're just like doing cardio.
If you're being smart.
If you're being smart
about it.
Yeah, which
like
95%
I would mostly
of people
just do
won't.
caffeine throughout the majority of the rave, and then there are times that I would do a little bit of MDMA, but I would avoid the uppers. So anything that's like I would avoid ecstasy, pressed pills. What else? Maybe I'd smoke a little bit of weed, but I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want to affect my prolactin in a way that would like affect my hormones.
See, I always would look at it through a mental health aspect. Like I'd be like, okay, look, I can function on Molly, and how am I going to be around other people if I'm on certain drugs? Like cocaine, if I have too much, I get anxious. I'm like, oh fuck, everyone's looking at me, they want a fucking photo, and I like freak out, you know. Weed as well makes me kind of like get in my shell and get a bit quiet. Like I smoke weed like on my own. It's kind of like a thing that I just like do it before bed, and like with people I'm comfortable with. I could never smoke weed at a festival. Fuck no, I would freak the fuck out.
Well, that's why I did microdoses of everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like even MDMA powder, I never took a full point because if I took a full point, I'd be wired.
That's where I'm at.
I'd
now.
just be like,
like if I was to do an event like now and I actually take something, it would be a microdose. And when I say microdose, like if I was to take like
because it's like
ecstasy, I'll take like not half a pill, it'd be like a quarter of a pill or like a nibble, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. And it'll just give me like that little kick just to give me like enough energy to stay awake but not fuck me up.
Because you can still be yourself, like you're sober, but
back in the day, dude, I'd probably take like
good.
10 to 15 pills at an event, and I'd be like, fucking yika, and just fucking running around, bro. And now, dude, no, man. If I did one, I'd be like on my ass. So I'll literally just take a nibble of one if I decided to even do it at a festival, which most days I really can't be fucked. I just go sober.
I feel like nowadays too, if I just think about any like taking too big of a cycle of steroid.
You just get anxiety thinking about it. I'm fucking getting anxiety thinking about my comp, bro, in August. I'm like, shit, man, I'm going to have to take 500 mg of test, tren, stanner. And I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm going to have to make a lot of lifestyle changes. No more raves, no more partying.
Yeah.
Longer sleep, taking things for like my liver guard, milk thistle, liver support.
I can't think of a single drug.
Hair support as well. I'm sure you care about your hair, so you've probably seen the products with like aesthetic cosmetics, like all these things I'm doing like to ensure that I have longevity, that I look good and I feel good, because looking good translates to feeling good. So yeah, when that happens, I kind of have to completely just get rid of like one of the equations. So raving just goes out the window and I'm just tunnel vision. But for example, after I won my pro card last year in April, for the last 9 months, I've just been on a traveling party rampage in a very safe kind of way. It's mostly just been drinking, to be honest. I've been drinking so much, man. Fuck. Yeah, man. I want to get home. It's been a long holiday, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has their poison. Everybody has their one juice. You know, mine is fucking diet sodas.
Sunkissed. I had to do what I had to do after my comp, because I would have gone crazy if I just went back to counting macros and calories and bulking. I had to like let it all out, and me letting it all out is me going to a rave and me partying and me muzzing and me dancing. Like that's me letting it out and just letting it all out of my system after like I finish my comp. Because now I know when I go home and I start my prep, boy, I'm going to be switched on. You know what I mean? I'm going to be like fucking locked in. I'm not going to have any distractions, and I'm going to be like excited for the process, not dreading it.
Yeah.
Because I've let it out of my system in my off season.
Also, everybody, I just want to say real quickly, if you guys do go to raves, bring some emergency with you. If you bring emergency with you and you feel tired and then you pop some emergency while you're there at the set, I promise, like if you're dehydrated and you're feeling low on energy, it also has a little bit of sugars in it, you're just going to suddenly feel a spike. Some people even do it like for the drugs, but I'm literally saying like, even if you're not on drugs, bro.
What is it? What
emergency?
What's that?
Okay, so have you heard of airborne? They're immune supports, like electrolytes, vitamin C, just like shit like that.
That makes
sodium.
sense. Like, yeah, because I mean, if you're dancing all night, sweating and shit, and yeah, you need electrolytes, and you're losing. But the good thing is, like, you get fucking dry, dude. You get so lean just from like dancing and walking around. But as a result, yeah, you probably do lose a lot of electrolytes. So that's really smart. What did you like learn all these things? Was it just through personal experience, or you've done a lot of research on these kind of topics? I'm very curious to know. Both. Okay.
Both.
Interesting.
I like I just love researching things, and my whole family is a family of academics. None of them are athletes. My dad's a tiny little professor, like really skinny,
my mom's a doctor.
40 pounds.
Yeah, my mom's a doctor, and my dad, before he retired, was a business manager, logistics officer.
Nice.
And you know, they had 2 sons that are crazy ass raver bodybuilder dudes.
Yeah.
Poor parents, are so bad.
Sorry, my parents just wanted me to be a doctor, get my PhD. And
typical Asian parents, yeah. Same with my parents. My mom's like, I want you to be doctor. You'll make a very great doctor. And I'm just like, bro, I can't be a doctor, bro. Like, it's just not me. Like, I'm not smart enough. Sorry.
Right.
Look, I like lifting weights and dancing. Like, I don't know what to say.
They wanted me to get my PhD, and then I dropped out before my master's program started doing social media. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're going to lose everything. And then I started my social media, and now I'm making way more than I ever made as an engineer.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm just looking at my parents, and my parents are just like,
what the fuck? They don't want to admit it. But
they don't want to admit it. They don't say anything.
The little fucker was like, he's smarter than I thought.
They just know they can't say anything.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking
How
powerful.
good does that feel?
It feels great.
I just got goosebumps for you because I went through the same fucking shit, man. I did a 4-year uni degree, accounting and logistics management and marketing. So I graduated in that, and then I had a shitty little fucking office job, and you know, with my degree in marketing. And then same thing, dude. I took a plunge in the social media game, and shit was good. Jumped off the social media game, and jumped on the social media game. And the same story as you, dude. Shit just started popping, and you know, when the success and money started rolling in, the parentals couldn't really say anything, even though they probably wanted me to be a doctor or lawyer. It's like, what can you say when your son's making like fucking $40,000 on a clothing sale? Like, you know what I mean? And getting all these brand deals, and he's got all these businesses, and like, and I'm traveling the world. I don't have to work 9 to 5. Can wake up when I want, do what I want, and I'm happy. Like, I'm genuinely, congratulations, bro. You're doing the same thing. I can say congratulations to you as well. You know what I mean? How good does it feel? You can see, like, looking at us, like, we have the look of like happiness in our eyes. We're not succumbed to the matrix in society, like trapping us.
The matrix.
Yeah. Are we on
little top chest,
Andrew Tate now?
Little top chest, top G. Let's go, baby.
Oh my god, man. Oh, wow.
I want to talk a lot about that shit.
Let's do it, man. What do you got to say?
Okay. Well, first, before we move on to that,
let's wrap up that last bit.
Yeah. So
raving and partying. What's the last message we should say to the viewers if they wanted to follow in our footsteps? How can we guide them to doing it correctly? Because people are influenced by us. We can't sit back and be like, we're not. So we have to be responsible.
I'd say do all your research and be super smart before going into anything. Like, just do as much as possible and then be present.
Very simple, but a very solid answer. I'd have to completely agree. Like, just completely understand what you're immersing yourself into and do your research on everything and anything in the compounds you're thinking of taking and you will be taking, and then make an informed decision about whether you want to do it or not. And most of the times, 9 times out of 10, you might buckle because there's always, you know, consequences to everything. So it's just how it is.
Okay, so before we move on to talking about like red pill, blue pill shit, top G shit, because we were talking about
like, I love that shit.
We're talking about like girls and chicks and like like monogamous and open relationships.
Oh my god,
it was fun. It was fun. I want to keep talking about it.
That was good shit.
But before we go to that, I want to talk about something that's really, really, really serious to me that I've always wanted to talk to you about, bro. I've always wanted to talk to you about because I resonate with this so much.
Talk to me, my bro. Talk to me.
And I feel like sometimes I talk about this too much, and I hope that people don't feel like I'm like overpressing this, or I'm like I'm just like fucking boring them with this shit. But like, dude, my best friends, I don't know why it happens, but I feel like I just feel like the best people in the world, the ones that are always like just the good fucking people, are always the ones that shit happens to, and that pass away. And I'm not really sure why that is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know, God is like selfish and just wants to keep him for himself, or if maybe this is all meant for some sort of like thing to show us something, some lesson to learn, or some kind of example to give. But no matter what happens, man, all I know is that I couldn't be more grateful for them. And I think it just further shows just how valuable of human beings they were and the legacy they left behind. So your brother Zyzz has done a great thing for the whole fucking world, bro.
Oh yeah,
for the whole world. And I've had my own personal friend, an own personal best friend of mine that is crazy, because I've always been inspired by Zyzz since I was a kid. I was like 12 years old, like hacked into my parents' computer so I could go on the internet, play RuneScape, watch anime, and then watch videos of Zyzz. That's all I would do. Like fucking
like
2 a.m. to
like most teenagers at that time.
Yeah, because my parents didn't let me into.
Stop looking at fucking men with their shirts off in your room. What are you doing? Go study.
Right, exactly.
Are you fucking gay?
They literally like banned me from using the computer and the internet. Like they like put parental controls. So I put my phone in the corner of the room and recorded the password. Yeah, exactly.
I like that, bro. Smart thinker.
And so I remembered I would always think about like Zyzz and just how fucking sick he was, and how he just didn't give a fuck, and he just had fun, and he just got shredded, and he fucking felt great, and he just was just a sick representation. He would party his ass off, but he also seemed like such a good person.
He was a very kind-hearted, beautiful-hearted man. But I know a lot of people like would watch his videos and think that he didn't give a fuck. He really did give a fuck. Towards his later years, he started to switch up and change and wanted to send a more positive message to the world. That partying wasn't it, and drugs wasn't it, and those were like, if you ever followed his stuff on his old Facebook page before he like passed away, that was kind of like the message that he was trying to like push to the world. Is just like, I'm sick of this character. There's more to me than this. It's all an act. Like I'm not really like this. I want to help people with bodybuilding. I want to help change lives. So he caught onto obviously the power of his influence very, very young. And he wanted to steer people in the right direction, but he didn't get a chance, He passed away, and then, I had to fucking take over, and still trying to navigate a way around of how to, like, show all these young boys who a lot of them don't have proper, like, older brother or proper father figures. And, the lost souls, they look up to people like me, people like Az, people like you. They look up to us as, like, the older figures and older fathers that they probably wish they had. So I feel like it's like a huge responsibility on my back that I steer them in the right direction, because Az didn't get a chance to. Az just showed all the fun stuff, but was that true to what who he really was? Not really, dude. Az was a geek. He was a loving guy. He was a goofy guy. He just loved to train. Very affectionate, very loving, very sweet, kind-natured, just a beautiful soul. Very, very beautiful soul. You think I'm a nice, cool dude? You should have met Az, man. It was amazing.
So that's why I wanted to bring this up in a way that, like, I feel like you and I really, really relate on this level, because my best friend, his name was Ryan, and he was a party freak, partied all the time, raged super hard. But the thing that, like, you couldn't see when he was partying, that I saw because I lived with him, is this guy, even though he was in jail for years, because he got in an accident where he turned around, didn't know who it was, but he was running away from some chicks, turned around, didn't know who he was totally naked in a bush, and then just punched someone because he was like drunk, and he was like, he thought someone was coming up to like either mug him or something. It was a cop.
Shit.
So he was in jail for several years.
Oh shit.
But he got out of jail because this kid that you couldn't see when he was partying was one of the most loving and genuine souls that I've ever met in the entire planet. I've never met anyone that was more giving, more caring, more selfless than he did. He got out of jail early because he saved multiple people's lives as a firefighter while in jail, and then saved a police officer's kid who shot himself in the head but missed his brain. And so he got off jail early. But this guy, like, throughout the entirety of his life, would be saving people's lives, like actually saving people's lives. He would randomly go out of the way just to do things for people when nothing was asked whatsoever. Like he heard someone was having a problem, then later on he'd just call them and be like, no, I'm actually on your way. I already have the doorknob. Don't worry. I got this. I'm going to fix your
The world
door.
needs more people like that, man.
Yeah. Like randomly, like I would just,
I'd love to have a friend like that.
Yeah.
Maybe have one friend like that. And I'm so grateful for him.
Well, it was like just such an amazing example because like, I don't know. I feel like my mom, because she's like, my parents are Filipino and I don't want to ever put my parents down, but I want to be as transparent as possible. I think it's part of the culture. The Philippines is a third world country, so they feel scarce. They have this culture of scarcity, right? So my mom's always just like, you need to save money. You need to save money, even though they're making enough money. My dad's the head of the department at AggieCon in Texas A&M now. He's doing really, really well. Maybe that was a little. Maybe I should like not talk too much about my dad's position.
You're good.
But she's always like, oh, like we have no money. We have to save money. Like you need to save gas. Like we can't hire anybody to fix this. I have to do it myself. You know.
But dude,
but
all those lessons are what made you you. Do you think if your parents weren't that hard on you and the harsh,
it was a great lesson, but I wanted to learn how to be giving. And when I met Ryan, dude, I would just watch, like just him and I. There's no one else for him to show. He just eating a sandwich. He's a homeless guy on the side of the road. Literally gave the guy the entire Subway sandwich that we just bought 30 seconds ago.
Wow.
I'm like, wait. What are you going to eat then? But just like, I like when I saw that, I was like, well, I understand acts of kindness, but for some reason, like the way that was so spontaneous and like we just went to Subway to get a sandwich. It was 30 seconds later. I'm like, I don't know. It was just kind of like a kind of a little bit of like a wake up call as I was living with him. He'd constantly do things every single day. That was kind of like a, yo, dude, like things don't always have to be like this. There's people who have been through watching their mom die, having his dad commit suicide, having to take care of his kids or his brother and his sister alone, like when his house burned down and his house was flooded, but still he'll go out and party his ass off and love everybody and give sandwiches away, and he doesn't fucking talk about how the world is fucking disgusting and then you need to, you know what I mean?
Sounds like you lived with a really optimistic mindset.
It was a very crazy, surprising, optimistic mindset for how much shit he's been through.
Sounds like me. Like just the optimistic part anyway. Like, yeah, I think a lot of it is, some people are just really good humans, dude. There's some really good humans out there. I truly believe that there's some really beautiful hearted humans out there. And if you meet people like that, dude, you hold on to him for dear life, man. Like, and I love that you remember him and I love that you honor him, bro. Like, absolute respect, bro. That's really nice to hear, honestly.
And I think that's why I feel like I relate to you, because I think Zyzz did the exact same thing. And I think he was just as great, if not even greater, of a role model and representation. And I think you carry on his legacy. And I think you and I share this one thing where it's like, there's a lot of things I don't know if you do this, but I feel like you do. But for me, I realize that a lot of the things I do nowadays are in memory of him. A lot of the things I do is because I think about like what he did, and I realize I want to carry on that legacy.
Of course,
that wasn't a part of me before.
Yeah, it was never a part of me either. And I thought it was my duty, especially as like the older brother. It was my fucking duty to carry on living his dreams and then mine. So I'm basically living for two men. I'm sure you probably know what that feels like. Pretty exhausting, but extremely rewarding.
Yeah,
and kind of beautiful. So I completely understand with you on that topic. And yeah, it's not easy, man. And then it's really tough when people don't understand. And then I kind of pity them because I take it back to my upbringing and my cultural upbringing. Like I'm Russian and Kurdish as well. Same story, man. Born in Moscow, Russia, and in a nation that was just about to break down with communism in the fall of 1991, I think, communism, when the Soviet Union collapsed and became the Russian Federation. So everyone was losing their homes, their incomes, everything. So we had to basically flee Russia to move to Australia. So my parents had that scarcity mindset too, you know what I mean? So I understand, man. I understand what it's like to be, from a minority. And then I understand what it's like to, be drilled by your parents to be something in this life. And then you don't end up doing what they want to do. But, you know, you want to honor and respect, you know, your loved ones that have passed on, and then no one really understands you, but you deep down in your heart know you're doing it for genuine reasons and for pure love. But the real people, I feel they do see that and they do understand that. But for everyone else, I feel sorry for them if they judge and they don't understand, because it's like, to me, I just bring it down to upbringing. Because if you weren't raised with like a sibling or a brother or a best friend, in your case, that was always there, that's basically like blood, right? Then you're never going to understand true brotherhood. And, you know, I feel sorry when I see brothers fighting with brothers, sisters fighting with sisters, brothers that are estranged from each other. I'm just like, how? Like, that's your fucking blood. That's your boy. Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand. And it paints the story of like, okay, these people are judging because they don't have close relationships with their homies or with their brothers or with their sisters. So they project, you know, their own shitty relationships onto people that have had beautiful relationships with their best friends or their siblings. Yeah. Because in today's society, not many people have that, man. I agree. Half of my mates fight with their brothers and hate them and punch on. Dude, I would give my life right now for my brother. I'll put myself 6 foot underground just so he can stand up and fuck on his 2 feet and just be alive for one day without a second of a thought. Without a second of a thought. You know what I mean? And no one else thinks like that. Everyone's so fucking selfish. But I can see you've got a big heart, and I can see you really, really like want to live for your friend and achieve his goals and achieve yours. And that's what I've been about, bro. I've been about spreading his legacy and his message, even at the cost of my own life. But then once I helped spread his legacy, I knew eventually people will see the good in what I did, and then I'll be able to start my own, which is why I started competing and got the pro card. I want to become a world champion and write my own story. You know, I wanted to finish his story, and then I wanted to start my own. Yeah. Even at the expense of losing 10 years of my life, because he's my brother, dude. He would have done it for me, you know, and I'm sure your best friend probably would have done it for you too, by the sounds of it, by looking at you and looking into your eyes. And I could see straight into you, and I could see what you're feeling for your best friend. And I understand, dude. I get it. I completely understand. But not many people would. That's a funny thing. I probably tell you to move on, get over it, live your own life, be your own person. He's gone. Why? If it makes you feel good, and if you're doing something good and you're spreading a positive message of the things that you learned from your friend, your sibling, why wouldn't you want to spread that to the world and save more lives? Legends never die, bro. Nah. They're always reborn through the people that they lost and that they loved. Through you, through me. They're reborn within us. Your friend's not gone, dude. He's living through you. He's watching you achieving all his dreams and all your dreams. And he's fucking cheering, bro. He's like, fucking go, Niall. Let's fucking go. And you don't think Az is doing the same? Fuck yeah, he is. He's fucking probably up there with your fucking boy right now, just being like, these motherfuckers are doing a podcast and they're just talking about us. Motherfuckers, like, we love you, but we love you guys, you know, and just like, you guys are making us proud. I guarantee you, when we make those shiny gates in heaven one day, bro, they're going to be at those fucking gates with open arms, and they're going to fucking cry as much as we cry when we see them because of all the good shit we did for them, the same that they did for us when they were still on this earth. Yeah, it can be tough, I know. It's gotten to a point as well where I sometimes cry, sometimes I don't. I'm so like null to the emotions that I'm just, I don't know. I've been through so much pain, dude, that I can't even cry about it anymore. But I did for a long time. You know, I can see you love your friend very much, bro.
I agree with you about people not having these kind of relationships these days. I was in a fraternity. I was in Boy Scouts, became an Eagle Scout. I was in a fraternity, yet I feel like I didn't know true brotherhood until I met this guy. I feel like I didn't know a true brother until I lived with him and Dion. And I think that's where I realized, like, I've been having some shallow fucking relationships and shallow fucking friendships. Like, my whole life too. Yeah. Man. I picked my friends on how they looked. Oh, he's shredded. He'll be a good person. Oh, he's fucking jacked. He's got a social media following. And then I was so young, so stupid. And then I just grew up and realized, dude, no. It's like, look for what's in here, dude. Look for how people treat other people. All this shit fucking fades, bro. Who gives a fuck about this shit? Yeah, jacked body's sick, dude. Fuck yeah, it's mad. Like, we all like to be jacked and look good.
But dude, what happens when all that superficial shit fucks off, dude? What happens when we're 45, 50, 60? It's what's here, brother. It's the connections you make with the people around you, the experiences you share with these real people, dude. And in our industry, it's hard to find that. So when you find it in life, when you find that person or persons, like, yeah, dude, it changes your life. As I can see, like your friend probably changed your life the way as changes my life every day and influences my life every day. You know, and I'm sure you feel a strong affinity to making him fucking proud and accomplishing his dreams. You know, I feel like you feel like it's your duty.
I do. And
you know? Like you can't not do it.
I do. And that's the crazy thing is like growing up as a kid, growing up as an only child and
you have
having
siblings. There you go.
Always being super bullied, being totally alone, having no, like my parents basically like putting me in like a tiny little jail. I've always had a red pill ideology of the world. I've always been incredibly pessimistic about shit. Like I need to protect myself and my energy and I need to like I just need to work as hard as possible, and
that's also
even if I have to play dirty in order for me to like become the best. You know, I just had this terrible fucking view of the world, and a lot of now after I met him and passed,
a lot of that you can't put on yourself. A lot of that's also your cultural upbringing.
Yeah,
I know. I generally have lots of Filipino friends, and they're very hardworking. They're very, very hardworking people. You know, and they're very morally strong people. They're just like you said, you come from a third world country to have an opportunity in like America or Australia. To them it's like, you know, they came to this country to give you a better life, but they couldn't give you many things that your best friend gave you. Love, like real love, like experiences and a different perspective on life and different mindset. You know, you're not pessimistic now. You sound like you're really open-minded and optimistic. We spoke about relationships and all this before, and it was making me think a little bit. I'm like, maybe I'm a bit of a prude or a little bit of a selfish guy hearing you speak about it. You know what I mean? But to hear that how you're open-minded about these things, like, you know, all these experiences come from, you know, the people you've grew up with and shared, not just your parents. Your parents would have probably put those harsh, imposing, like Filipino, like rules kind of on you, like growing up, but then obviously meeting people along the way kind of, am I right to say, kind of changed your mind and the person you are today?
Absolutely. After having all that like red pill mindset, after I met Ryan and how he would literally always act in love, no matter what, no matter how hard he was hurt, no matter how many times he was actually physically stabbed or backstabbed by his own best friends, like, dude, like no matter how many times he was just hurt by a girl, dude, this guy was always acting in love, always giving. And I think that's why my perspective just changed. And I know some people may not agree with my perspective nowadays, but now in everything I do, bodybuilding, fitness, relationships, I think of this, I just think like I need to act in love. And like there are good people out there, and like I want to leave a good legacy of positivity and helpfulness behind, and I want to make a good impact that doesn't only help people be happy, but just help people feel fulfilled, you know? And so that's kind of where sometimes now I think Andrew Tate's hilarious, and I love his ideology, and the red pill movement's fucking funny, but I can't always sync up with all of it. You know, I don't feel like I always agree with all of it.
I feel like a lot of it. I feel like a lot of it has been exponentially sensationalized due to the fact that he blew up during COVID and just got really, really massive through TikTok and all that. So I feel like he didn't know that it was all going to happen. Yeah, he's probably had no idea, and it just happened. He's like, "Oh fuck! I said all these things that fucking yeah. You know what I mean?" And like we've all said things that we don't really fucking mean all the fucking time. Everyone does it all the time. The only difference is he got caught on camera, but his core message is true: pro masculinity. You know, become a high status value male and attract the women that come to you instead of you chasing the women. And it's just
that's 100% true. Yeah,
the message
is absolutely true.
It is.
It's like if you. Yeah.
Dude, when I was a low status male, dude, I was getting cheated on by the guys who were bigger, buffer, with more money, driving the nice cars. Right. And now that I'm one of those guys, like, I understand, because I've been on both ends of the spectrum. So I'm like, my brain's like fucking doing 180. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how did I get to this level?
obviously I want to press that this isn't all that matters. Like high status isn't all that matters. Like heart matters too. But the fact of the matter is when it comes to hierarchy, basically the girl's appearance is equivalent to man's total status.
Exactly. Yeah. But a man must earn his status, dude. Like if a woman's born, if a woman's born like a 9 or 10 out of 10, like dude, she can
maybe just pretty herself up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's all she could do. And
most of the time for men, you have to work for the whole thing.
Oh yeah, we have to self-improve, and women don't understand that. They don't understand.
Right.
It's funny, and you can ask them. It's like I've seen it on Fresh and Fit when they ask women, "Oh, you're a guy now. Like, how would you go pick up a girl?" And they're like giving all these like examples and ways of picking up a girl, and 99% of the time it just wouldn't work. And then females just don't understand how hard it is for the average male, which is 80% of the population.
Give me some examples about like picking up and then not working. Oh.
Sorry, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Now I lost my train of thought. Hey,
my bad.
Shit. Okay, but go back. No, I've completely lost it. Hey, let me have some more coffee.
We're talking about red status and like picking up girls and how it doesn't work.
Oh yeah. So I mean, if you're like 80% of the majority of the dudes that are like seen as average, it's going to be really, really hard for you to compete and get even like an average chick when you got fucking half of the fucking celebrities out there like Tiger and Chris Brown sliding in any girl that's like an 8 out of 10 plus in their DMs. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have girls in Sydney that I know that have been hit up by Chris Brown and Tiger and fucking all these other rappers and shit. And they've shown me messages like, dude, I knew a chick that slept with Chris Brown, you know? She wasn't even
I do too. Yeah.
And she wasn't even that, there you go. And she wasn't even that hot. She was like a 7.5 out of 10. You know what I mean? And it's like, shit, man. Like when social media came like that into the world, all these options came, man. And it's like everyone's like after the next best shiny thing. There's so many options that, you know, if you I'm going to use this analogy. Do you want to eat fucking chicken breast every day? Or would you rather go to a fucking all-you-can-eat buffet? You can get fucking steak, chicken, rice, tuna, fucking eggs, salad, fucking there's a dessert bar. Or you want to just keep eating fucking chicken every day?
There's no other thing I love than an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, exactly, man. And what do you think? I
love variety.
And what do you think like these girls are doing, bro? They're all humans just like us, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and it's
right.
And it kind of makes sense for a woman to go for the best possible option because a female bears the burden of having to hold a fucking baby in her stomach for 9 months.
So guys, this isn't sponsored, but thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate you guys. I really just do this for fun because I love podcasting and I love listening to podcasts. So best cost way to support us would be to rate the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify 5 stars and then subscribe to the YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate that. And then finally, if you do want any products that I'm sponsored by, that helps literally my living, and then I use my extra living, whatever I can, to fund the podcast editing. That's Young LA Clothing, code Nile as well for 15% off, and then Huge Supplements, which is the pre-workout that he took during our workout that they got super freaking wired.
Oh my god! Wait till you guys see the photos and the YouTube videos that succumbed. The pump was stupid. Absolutely
was
stupid.
Sick. It was pretty fucking sick.
I had titties, bro. I had titties. It wasn't even a chest, man.
And we were like doing such long rest sets because we were filming too. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean 3 hours just went like that, man. Whatever. It was fun. I had fun.
And then finally, if you guys are feeling symptoms of low T, my HRT clinic is Trenscend, and they offer anything for men's health optimization, such as hair loss prevention, libido, erectile dysfunction, TRT, HRT, PCTs,
all
peptides,
good stuff, guys. All good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, highly recommended by myself as well, to be quite honest.
So, where did we leave off last? So, we were talking about how blue pill, how I believed in red pill ideology for basically my entire life, and then I met Ryan, and Ryan was the prime example of a leader that I like to keep in my heart and in my brain as like someone who gives me direction for where I want to move forward so I can continue his legacy. So that's where I come into a little bit of conflict. Yeah. With Top G, with Andrew Tate. And you were saying
that we got famous, that they didn't know they were going to get famous during the COVID era.
And a lot of shit was cut out of context.
Yeah, completely. Because, dude, I thought he was like, I was like, this guy's a bit fucking crazy. And this shit. I'm like, holy fucking shit.
He's a little crazy.
And then I watched it all and I'm like, oh, not really. Like, he's actually just trying to
But he's still down to earth. Yeah, if you like watch his whole podcast, you watch the whole thing.
He's a good guy. Like, he's one of the good guys. But yeah, it's really easy to take shit out of context. Like there's been times I've been on like many podcasts and I get super hyped up and excited and I'll say a whole bunch of shit, and it could probably be misconstrued as well. But yeah, fuck, it is what it is, man.
I wonder how much his spiel about like bodybuilders being pussies was out of context though.
I mean,
that was a funny one.
It was fucking funny. I'm not going to lie. When he says like bodybuilders are fucking pussies because they just get big so no one will fight them, I'm like, he's not completely wrong. Like, I did get bullied in high school and I did want to like get bigger and more fucking jacked and yoked. So less people want to pick up fights with me, you know? Like, I was so short and skinny, like everyone's just fucking on me all the time. So I'm like, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, and then I got jacked and like less people want to fuck with me because I don't know, if like you didn't see me, you didn't know me, you didn't know I was like a nice guy, you'd be like, fuck, this guy looks like a fighter, is a fucking some crazy dude, is a fucking you wouldn't want to pick a fight with me. You'd think twice, but like shit. I mean, so when he puts it like that,
I can see it being a reason for many people, but definitely not the main reason.
Not the main reason, but it's still funny. I don't know why.
Yeah,
bodybuilders are all pussies. They get on stage in their underwear and pose for men. I'm like, you know what's funny? It
is a little gay.
Az used to say that too.
Sport's a little gay.
You know, Az used to say that as well. He's like, why would I jump on stage and compete in my fucking underwear for a whole bunch of old men to judge how good my body is? Because I'll go to a festival and I'll just have chicks fucking tell me how good I look. And I was like, interesting mindset. Very interesting. I'm like, I can't say I agree with you. Like, I respect it, but I love bodybuilding competing. But
we just enjoy the competition.
Huh?
We just enjoy the competition.
Yeah, I love it, bro. I just love mugging cunts, bro. It's fun.
But when you were mugging cunts,
bro. It's the best, bro. It's like part-time hobby of mine.
But when you were talking about it earlier, I just realized, dude, you're right. Like when I watched more of Andrew Tate's stuff recently, I can tell he's toned it down a little bit. And like you can see how like his normal human being like, self kind of comes out. Yeah,
he's like, I'm just gonna be more normal now.
Yeah.
Can't say all these things, but do you see him on the Piers Morgan interview? Shit, man, that was funny.
Oh, the
Piers Morgan, Andrew Tate. That reporter, the British.
Yeah, the British guy, right? Yeah. I think I saw just a small portion of it. I can't remember.
Do you like trans people? Like, dude, Agent of the Matrix, hard, just fucking. And now he's in jail for like 30 days, man.
I heard about that. They're making all
these like claims against him, bro. The Matrix is real, bro. Fuck, it's fucking this shit's crazy, man. I hope they don't take me out. I'm not that big. I'm just a small fry.
Bro, they're not gonna take you out.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, you're fucking. You have a
Chestbrah, bro.
Yeah, I think
coming for me. Bro.
I don't think you're nearly as controversial.
No,
you
not at all.
You're just.
I mean, I'd like.
You're
to
just a sick bodybuilding rave role model.
That's all I am, really. But shit, man. I mean, back on the Tate train. I mean, we were talking more about like open relationships and stuff before.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting, like your views on some of the things. Do you want to like maybe venture into that, or did you have like where was like we were trying to direct it towards a certain direction? We're getting at a certain point before that camera cut out, but we're back now. Hopefully, it doesn't fucking cut out again because I'll fucking be very upset for you. Not for me. I'll be more upset for you, to be honest. You know?
I'll try to figure out how to. I'm sure there's like a way that I can use an app to like go into the SD card and try to figure out, which is why I replaced the SD card.
Okay.
So I can keep it fresh and then see if I can figure out how to fix it. But
if you manage to fix it, because like now I'm invested. I want to fucking know if you fix it or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on Andrew Tate? And
okay.
Like, what's your thoughts on open relationships? Because we were discussing this before.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. That was kind of funny.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm leading the interview now. I'm just going to shut my mouth.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I feel rude.
Whatever you want to say.
I feel rude. No, you go. You're the host, bro. I'm the guest. I always do this. Go.
So Syed and I were actually talking about. We were just talking about like relationship dynamics before this. A little bit of like red pill, blue pill type shit, but in like the, in the relationship sense. And I was telling him that. There's this one thing that a lot of guys disagreed with me because it was kind of cut out of context and I was basically talking about open relationships, but I never fully expressed how the relationship was and why I did it. But obviously when guys just hear me saying like, oh, I was in an open relationship for 4 years and like it helped me learn this much or whatever, then a bunch of guys are just going to be like, oh, dude, that ain't it. Like, fuck that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the first thing I said when you said it,
Yeah, you said that too. You said that ain't it.
So why don't you open my mind up a little bit and then tell me your thought process behind that?
Okay, so...
Because I'm intrigued. Like, I don't agree with you and I'm not going to sit here and say I do, but I'm just still intrigued to learn and understand how your brain kind of operates and on that kind of frequency, I guess. So
the reason why I feel like people jump into conclusions is because everyone always says like, I don't like either I agree or I don't agree with you, but like I haven't even spoken a conclusion if that makes sense.
Sure.
I simply said I was in an open relationship and then they immediately don't agree. I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense. I'm just stating a fact of action that I did in the past. So I actually don't believe open relationships are the way. Like, I don't believe, you like open relationships are more natural. I don't believe any of that. Like, I don't think we were made for open relationships. I don't believe we were made for polygamy or polyamory. I don't believe that that's how we should maybe, that's how we should like shape our relationships throughout, the remainder of our lives or anything. I actually personally would like to die with a monogamous relationship. I would like to take care of one woman and have a family with her, have some kids to
Traditional
carry on,
masculine roles.
Right. But,
Yes.
but fact of the matter is, at that age that I was at, the girl that I was with really wanted to have a monogamous relationship and I wasn't ready for it. And I knew it.
Yeah.
I just moved to San Diego and I was enjoying my time, and I hate admitting these things and I hate to talk about them like this, but it's the fact of the matter is that I was being a douche. I was playing around with her feelings because I was talking to other girls, and I would tell her, hey, like, I told you, like, I love spending time with you, but I'm just not ready for a relationship. And, I just know that like I would be lying to myself, So I would tell her, I would be honest with her, but she would still stay, and so the thing is, we spent.
Did you feel guilty? Is that why you kind of moved towards?
I did feel guilty.
Yeah.
I felt very guilty. I felt very responsible. And the thing is, like, I could have continued to play, like, because I already did for like a whole year, basically, where she was essentially completely monogamous and I was seeing multiple different girls.
We've all been there.
Right. And I could have continued doing that, but I love her. I loved her. And I still do as a best friend now.
Oh,
but
so she's still in your life, as like you guys still have a friendship.
yeah, we had a whole complicated thing, and it's on a podcast. We didn't talk for a whole year, but
Oh shit. Okay.
now oh yeah, but at the time I fucking loved this girl, like I loved her as a relationship. I saw us potentially, marrying each other. I saw this girl potentially being my partner because the way that we interacted with each other, she was like my best friend. Like, she would support me through my career, through the desires, the things I wanted to pursue, and she would always be supportive in every way she could. Right? She had compassion. She was motherly, and she loved to take care of people. So I saw all of these as well.
Good qualities.
These are good qualities for a future partner, and plus, the amount of history we had together and the amount of just emotions that, I don't know, man, just the amount of oxytocin, I don't know. Even after going through the honeymoon phase, we still had some crazy intimacy and connection. And so because I cared about this girl, I was like, okay, this isn't really right anymore. Like, I don't feel like this is right. This girl is hurting so much, and we're running into some pretty bad issues. Like we were running into a lot of fucking drama and like really, really bad shit. And like we would stop talking for periods at a time because she would just cut me out, and like she'd be like crying and like all the like just really, really terrible things.
Damn.
And I really cared about her. I was seeing another girl at one point in time, and I was thinking, maybe, like, what do I do? Like, this is kind of the last straw. Like, she's gonna leave me forever, or I have to leave this girl and I have to decide what I want to do for my future. So I decided, like, what we had was too valuable for me to lose, even though I was young and I felt like we both probably could experience more. You know what I mean? I don't want to like cut out all the rest of our experiences for our entire life, because I think life and experiences is number one. There's a billion people. There's so many options, especially if you work towards being a higher status male, then you get more options. Well, I think our experiences, however, we only have one life to live. And if you don't decide to have those experiences, what's gonna happen before you die? One of the number of things that tends to happen to people is regret for not doing something.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's everything that old people say on their deathbed is the things they wish they would have done.
Well, I don't want regret for not being able to do things, but because I love her, I also wouldn't want that for her. And I like to see her as I like to see every person as me in another life. How would I want to treat you? How would I want to be treated?
So it
I want
wasn't
to treat
really
you with respect and
open.
love.
So can I correct it and say it wasn't like it was an open relationship, but at the same time it was more like, hey, like you can do what you want.
No, that was only the first year.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I came back, talked to her. We were monogamous for another year.
Okay.
And in the beginning of the monogamous relationship,
very interesting relationship, actually.
yeah, in the beginning of the monogamous part, she told me, "Oh, I started talking to a guy, and he was into like open relationships type situations.
Yeah.
Not the kind of open relationship where you like speak openly about
Alex.
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
Not open relationship type situations where you speak openly about the relationship. So she had experience with somebody who had experience with an open relationship when we weren't talking, and this gave her a little bit more ideas into what she feels like a dynamic would work between us. And so during the monogamous relationship, she and I started doing a lot of research with people such as Esther Perel, Shan Boudrin on YouTube. A lot of people who have experience with open relationships. Esther Perel is actually more on fidelity, not just open relationships in general. But then finally we decided, like, let's see if this will work. Like, let's try something out. So we started opening the container into an open relationships. And that's where like the actual like open relationship started.
Yeah. And how long did that go for? Like a year?
I think that was about 2 to 3 years. Like the entirety of a relationship was about 4 years.
Yeah, you were with this girl for a while. Okay.
Yeah. So, so the open relationship part about 2 years, I'd say. So there was a lot, bro. It was like a fucking roller coaster.
Sounds like it, man.
And yeah, it was the most emotional trauma and the most emotional pain I've ever been through. But at the same time, I used to be the most jealous kid, bro. When I was a kid, what was it? I think I was 11. When I was 11 years old, I went to the girl next door's birthday party because I was good friends with her and her sister. And I had a crush on the older sister who was a year older than me. And when I saw her at her birthday party talking to this other guy that like she was just talking to almost the entire time, I got so fucking depressed that I just sat down on the sidewalk and put my head in my hands and just fucking simped for the entire time. And people at the party would come up to me and be like, "Nah, are you okay?" And I'd just be like, yeah.
Damn.
The whole time I was just simping because I saw a girl I liked talking to another dude. Like, I was so jealous. And so I realized that affected me in every single way that I acted in all my relationships. I'd be a little bit like...
Before you say anything, I gotta kind of agree with that. Like, as I've also come to get a bit older, I've dropped a little bit of that jealousy aspect. I'm still jealous, like, of my girl and who she's like, like attention she's given, but less than I used to. Much less. I'm like a little bit more understanding and less jealous than I used to be. More just like free-minded and just be like, oh, whatever. Like, if shit's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I don't let it like eat away at me.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, like, what I realized is that jealousy is something that will always exist to a level, but because it's just like, like
natural human emotion.
Yeah, natural human emotion, exactly. But everything that we've done, everything that we were able to overcome, right? Being a skinny little bitch. You're no longer a skinny bitch. Now you're a jacked bitch.
I'm just a jacked bitch.
Now you're jacked, bro. Now, things that we can overcome things, right? We put ourselves through hard scenarios so we can overcome things. Sorry, guys, ran into some technical difficulties with the cameras, but we're back again. But yeah, man, I feel like that relationship was, even though it was heavy and it was really difficult, and I mean, when I find my lover, whoever's going to be my partner for the rest of my life, I'm sure that I'm not going to be interested in us sleeping around and stuff. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that at the time, that suited us in order for us to get everything that we needed out of our lives before we die. And I cannot, I don't think there's been any other trial, any other challenge that I've put myself through that has made me more confident as a man than that series of 4 years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because it made you less jealous?
It most definitely did, but I think it's because it had me fight through some of the deepest emotions and some of my darkest thoughts that I've ever had in my entire life. It also allowed me to Like I really had to see her as another person, and we had to get really deep and intimate with each other. We had to be really transparent and loving with each other. Like when she was going through jealousy and pain, like just absolute heartbreaking, like thinking about your fucking lover having intercourse with somebody else, even sharing intimacy with someone else, that breaks you apart, it breaks you into pieces. But giving as much love to her and having her realize that it wasn't like all it was simply getting at the experience of having sex with somebody. It wasn't what she has to offer me. It wasn't the fact that she is the human being, the partner that I connect with, and I have the greatest intimacy with more than anybody else in the entire planet, and that there's nobody that has our history that can be my partner like she does. No one supports me in the way she does. No one fulfills my heart's desires and helps me fulfill my passions in the way that she does. Like that's my person, right? So we were simply doing this so that each of us could have those experiences.
Very interesting.
And plus, I already had my time in the past, like being a fuckboy and talking to a bunch of chicks when they probably, you know, a lot of them weren't doing as much as I was. So I kind of got a lot of that out of my system.
Just trying something different, I guess.
I was literally, that was it.
I mean, shit. I mean, it's not for everyone. I mean, but I respect your point of view, dude. I mean, if you had to do what you had to do, then I guess who's anyone to judge, bro? If it made you a better person for it, then so be it, dude. You know.
I do feel like it made me a better lover, and it also made me a lot more confident. And now I'm like barely ever moved, or I like naturally give so much less of a shit that I'm not gonna lie. It kind of made it a lot easier for me to. I don't know. I feel like my confidence increased significantly. Like I just feel like the confidence increased significantly, and that definitely contributes to my mating value.
Probably because
and how I can engage with females.
Your communication would have been pretty good, I'm guessing, to like be that kind of stuff. You guys would be like really talking. Yeah. Like most dudes don't really talk. They're just like whatever. They just kind of like put up a wall. So you would have been really like communicating heavily. So that could have been a big part of the growth. Probably not the actual idea of the open relationship itself, but everything that came with it, kind of thing. If I was to put a guess on it, anyway. Yeah. Anyway,
tell me about like your kind of relationships that you've been through, like your mindset of relationships. Like, even if you have an opinion on like red versus blue.
Oh, or just red pill. I had a massive red pill moment when I was like 27. Some chick that I really like. I've only been in love twice in my whole life. I've only told 2 girls I've loved them twice and I've meant it. And the second girl that I told, it didn't really work out. Like I was a bit of a cunt and I was a bit of a dickhead in her defense, because I'm not just going to say it was all my fault. Like I was just hot-headed and crazy and a bit wild at the time. But this girl left me because I lost my job. I was with her for like 1.5 years and I lost my job. And when I lost my job, and that was kind of like the cherry on the cake, but like that was a breaking point of the relationship. And I remember her and her family clearly telling me that, and how is my daughter supposed to marry you if you can't even provide for her and you can't even hold a job, like you can't even hold a job and you're 27 years old. And then that just triggered like a response in me to just want to be successful and succeed and make money and prove that everyone wrong, because I quit that job at the time to chase a social media dream in the Instagram game, and I'd launched like a clothing line and everything. And within the first month of my clothing line, I made like hell a lot of money. It was crazy. Yeah. And then, and just from there, it was just kept going up and up and up and up. And here I am like almost, 10 years later, still doing the same thing, but really successful. I managed to quit the 9-to-5 grind and worked in an office job like everyone else, making like $1,000 a week. Now it's like shit, like I'm almost like $1,000 almost every second day, you know? So it's crazy. And everyone doubted me. My own parents. And now like my parents are even down for my cause. They're just like very supportive and very like invested in what I'm doing and kind of like interested in just like, how the fuck did this guy pull all this off? Like they're just like shocked. It's a great feeling, like you said before. So that was my turning point for my red pill, blue pill mentality, when I kind of realized that, hey, love is just, it's very conditional on a woman's end. It comes under the guise of like a man obviously like providing value and you know, providing sustenance to a woman and providing, you know, like being able to basically be a man, because a woman, like I said before, a woman holds a baby in her stomach for 9 months. It's a huge investment out of her life. So she needs to be guaranteed that, you know, biologically, it's just ingrained in a woman that the man is going to stay around and look after her offspring and her and make sure they're going to be okay. So why would a woman be settling for, like, it's just within a woman's like natural biological urges that why would they want to be with a dude that, you know, can't hold down a job, and then naturally their minds are telling them, how's he going to provide for my future kids and myself? What happens if he never can hold a job? He's got no money. Like, my life's going to be hard. And as a woman, like, women have got shit end of the stick for like centuries, you know. It's only in the last 30 to 50 years that they've kind of like, you know, this whole feminism and everything, that kind of like changed their pathways and moved forward. And now it's like the pendulum swung the other way. And now it's like all the men are copying shit and the women have all the power now. But I do believe it's going to be a slingshot effect, and it's going to go back to baseline. It's going to be more equal again. But until then, we're going to see a whole bunch of fuckery. So I think basically, yeah, that was my red pill moment when I got dumped, and I've never been dumped in my life, ever.
Fuck.
That was the first time, and that fucked me up. And then I just went on a massive sexual rampage, absolutely massive, just to let it all out. And it didn't help with anything. It just kind of like confused me more. And then I just really understood the female psyche and nature, and I realized that, hey man, like shit, I mean, like if I can like become this high value status male, what's going to happen? I didn't venture out to become a high status value male. It just fucking happened. I was just following my passions, like competing, training, you know, and the whole lifestyle and just social media, and it just literally all happened. So, and then through all that, I became a high value and a high status man through doing all that. And then I just noticed just women treating me differently, like more girls laughing at my jokes, talking to me, messaging me back, calling me, texting me, wanting to hang out, accepting the fact that I've got multiple girls that I'm talking to, accepting the fact that all I want is just sex from them and nothing else. And I'll be very blunt about it too. I'm like, listen, I've got a busy life. I'm always traveling. Like, I'm focusing on my bodybuilding, my competing, my career. Like, I think you're hot. Like, I think you're beautiful. I think we have a good time. But I'm not looking for anything other than just sex and a good time. And if that's like not on your agenda, then I completely understand. I don't want to waste your time. I'll just be completely transparent. And it always worked in my favor. They're just like, okay, it's fine. You don't have to date me. We can just have sex. I'm like, okay, cool. So it just kind of worked in my favor. But that shit never happened when I was like 22 years old, young, with no money, no car. But, you know, I was still a loving, very affectionate guy, and I was still treating women like nicely, but I didn't have anything to my name. I didn't build my status and my value as a male. So women didn't really take me seriously. So I couldn't be calling the shots or saying what I want. Like, if I said that kind of stuff at 22, a girl would just be like, I'm not going to have sex with you. You know, what am I going to get out of it? Because that's what chicks inherently look for. You know, what can they get out of a male other than just love and a relationship? Because most relationships these days, whether it's like between a man and a woman, if it's friends, it's a lot of relationships these days, whether people like to admit or not, are business transactional relationships where there's two mutually beneficial parties all benefiting from some kind of like, you know, deal or transaction or something's going on. Like, it's really hard to find genuine friends who just want to come together and just be friends and just do friend things. Even in relationships, there's always some kind of like bartering system, like the girl cooks and cleans and the guy's going to bring home all the money and put the roof over their head. There's always some kind of like trade off and something being swapped for the relationship or given to the opposite partner or, you know, friend in like a friendship. So it's like, that's when I was like red pilled and blue pilled pretty much. And that's when I realized that love is not enough in this day and age, that you need to, if you want to attract the right kind of women and if you want to live the kind of life that most men would probably dream of, to be quite honest, you need to become a man of high value. You need to make a 6-figure income minimum. You need to be smart. You need to be funny. You need to be charismatic. You need to be good looking. You need to have a whole bunch of qualities to be able to dictate and call the shots and do the things that you want to do. And that's when I kind of like was like aware of the whole situation.
100% agree. I think absolutely agree on all of it. I do think one reason that you're super successful right now, though, and you continue to be ever more super successful, especially with women, though, is that you did all of that. And the one core thing that I want to put in and I want to add in as my own fact that I don't think people really talk about is that you keep to who you are and your authenticity and originality as a human being. like your acts of love, what you believe in, like even down to like the directions in life you take that are inspired by your relationship with Zyzz and your brother, right? You keep all of these. And I think a lot of people who like really focus on like getting a lot of status as a man, sometimes they get so overwhelmed with trying to gain that status or trying to do that PUA or trying to do that whatever, that it actually, they start losing their, like who they really were inside. They start painting a character of themselves. They start trying to act a little like too cool or something in this way, or like they start trying to copy things that Andrew Tate does. Like, I think it's very important that like once you start doing that, I think that actually kind of takes away a little bit of your value. Right, and people can tell.
And the
I
thing
think
is,
you need
like,
to keep.
And I also think like, if you're chasing it, then it's normally has the opposite effect. But for me, I didn't even realize it became a high status male. I still kind of don't feel like that. Like the inner child in me is like, no, you're not. Like, you're kidding yourself. But everyone else says I am. So I guess I am shit. You know what I mean? So and that,
I think you are, bro.
And that's what like fucking makes it like genuine, and like that's why I've had the experience of I had, because I didn't forcefully go out there and like, I want to become a high status male. But I knew deep down that I needed to create more status and abundance in my life to get the woman I want. I knew deep down intrinsically that, hey, if I have a better job, if I look a bit better in my appearance, if I'm more confident with women, if I know how to talk to a woman a little bit better, if I'm more open-minded and actually listen to a woman and actually just speak my mind and don't just see women as like sexual objects and just see them as human beings, and not try to just chase sex with every single girl that I have an interaction with, which is what I used to do. Just every single chick, I'm just like, you know, and any girl that I found attractive, I'll try to chase some kind of sexual interaction. And then when I got to a certain age and things were, you know, getting better for me, I stopped expecting those things from women, and they kind of just came more to me. Like I could just hang out with a chick and I would not want to do anything. I'm just like, I'd have lots of chick mates and we'd just like hang out as friends or just like go for lunch. And then by me not showing any like absolute zero interest in them sexually and just giving them that respect, even though deep down I probably would find them attractive, I just treat them like a human being. I'm just like, let's try something different. Then they'd all end up coming back to me and wanting a relationship, or even just a sexual relationship at that. So I found that just by being honest and just by not being like a horny devil dog like most men are, that it actually ended up working in my favor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the funny part. So yeah, that's why like I try to tell men out there, like, don't chase the girls, like just be yourself. And like, if you see a girl, just don't be scared, just talk to her. And if you like her, just still be a friend. Be a friend before anything else, because if you be a friend, then she's going to be comfortable. And then you know what? Most of the times, like, she's going to come around and actually want to have sex with you, even if you don't want to date her. That's the funny thing. I'm cracking female psychology 101. Like, just don't make a girl feel pressured into doing anything. And then they normally tend to come around because, like, within themselves, they're just like, why isn't this guy trying to, like, make a move on me? What's wrong? Like, he's good looking.
Enjoy the game of leveling up.
Yeah. Just like,
enjoy the game. It's like RuneScape. It's like WoW, World of Warcraft.
Just enjoy it. And then
enjoy leveling up.
Everything else will just come.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
The rewards come.
Yes.
Bet. Can you share with us your number before and after the breakup? Is that
definitely not?
Is that transparent enough? No,
it's pretty bad. I'm not going to say. I mean, I don't even know what the number is, to be honest. So I can't even tell you. But
yeah,
definitely like 3 digits. You use your imagination.
No, I feel you. I couldn't tell anyone the exact number either.
I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know.
I have a couple friends in the past that I have one friend that's like written down the names.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
But
oh my god.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what? I shouldn't laugh. I used to.
All right, 3 digits.
I was doing that when I was like 18 and shit too. And then I think I hit like 21. I was like, man, this is fucking lame.
How does it compare to your number before the breakup though?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That was my question. That's what I was asking.
I can tell you my number before the breakup, actually. I'm comfortable to tell you, like, before the breakup at 27, probably like maybe 50 girls. Now 27.
That's still
that's not that much for like who I was at the time and the fame I had. But then like in the last 10 years from 27 to 37, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Yeah. Made up for lost ground, let me tell you. But I think I was also projecting a lot of pain and like,
yeah, she
dumped me. I can get any chick I want. I'll show everybody. And then it was just like me just like trying to prove something to myself.
Bro, it makes for good motivation though.
Oh yeah, it fucking
As long
does,
as it's
man.
not your
I'm not gonna
foundation
lie.
for
And
life.
yeah, no, it's not my foundation for life, but
Right.
it was a big foundation for my relationships with women for a long time until I actually just pulled my head in and be like, hey man, I don't need to keep sleeping with like women to prove myself like stupid.
Yeah.
And now I kind of just like, I'm like gone complete 180. I'm like, oh, I just want to find someone to fall in love with and just like have a family with. So like
Yeah.
I've lived such a crazy life that I just want to like kind of just calm my shit down, to be quite honest.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I know for a fact I'll reach that point.
Yeah.
I'll start getting
yeah.
the daddy vibes. Just be
Yeah,
like,
the
I
daddy
kinda wanna, like,
vibes
take care
came
of
to
a
me
child.
like around like, yeah, I'd say like 33, 34, I started feeling daddy vibes. I'm like, you know what? I'll have to like have a little fucker running around that I could just fucking like mold into being like a little girl, little boy. Like it'd be kind of nice. But before that, I was like so against kids, bro. I was like, I don't want fucking kids. I don't want to have any kids.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, dude, I want to have like a big family. I want to have like 2 boys, 1 girl, loving wife.
man.
And you know what? I don't want to be in a position where I want to even have to think about cheating on my wife. You know what I mean? But I know like deep down as a man, like if the more high value I become, if all those options are coming to me, I'm going to have to come to some kind of like moral agreement with myself that, hey, I'm going to either have to be honest with my woman or find a woman that's a little bit more open-minded and is really just down to like, you know, give me the experiences that I want, and she's not looking to get the same. And people might call it selfish, but there's lots of women out there that are happy to just have a one man that they can love and then grant him those things as long as they're providing him a good life and he's a good person and he treats her well. But at the same token, a part of me doesn't want that, and I do want a very, you know, just a one woman, one man relationship. I really can't answer that question. It really depends on the kind of girl I meet. I could be like a very reserved girl who's not into that and I can kind of accept it because she makes me feel a certain type of way. Or I can meet a more open-minded girl who's a little bit more like me, a little bit like fun, rough around the edges, and kind of lets that kind of thing, like those interactions and those kind of experiences happen. And then she's totally cool with it, but she's totally cool with also not wanting to do it herself because she's just been raised the right way, but she understands that men are men. Like there's chicks out there like that. So I don't know, man. Until that chick comes along, I really don't know. But yeah, that's just where my head's at the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for this conversation, man. It was
been a
fucking
pleasure,
phenomenal.
Nolly. Yeah, it's been a
It was
pleasure.
super sick.
It was great,
Zyzz
dude.
Sergeyevich
Thank you, man.
Savershian.
Yes. Oh, you got the last name correct.
Savershian,
There you go.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. You got the last name very good. And
Zyzz
Niall
and Saeed.
Naga.
Hell yeah.
Absolute gentleman.
Naga, yeah.
No, absolute gentleman, man. I really
Thanks,
enjoyed
bro.
this chat, man. And I hope it's not our last one, to be honest. Yeah.
I do too. I do.
Yeah. Champion. Put it there,
Yeah.
bro.
All right. Where
did
can
it,
we
man.
find you?
You can find me on Instagram, guys, at SAID, like said, _ SERGEYEVICH, Said Sergeyevich. And I'm sure you can probably just link them or something like that or put on the screen. And if you guys want to follow me, you guys can follow it there.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, thank you for having me on your podcast, and thank you for the gym session. Thank you for inviting me into your home. You're a gentleman and you're a good guy, and I hope we do this again soon, man. But
Thanks,
for
man.
now, I got to drive my ass back to Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah.
A long drive, bro.
It will be. Well, luckily, since it's super late, it's only going to be like an hour and a half to 2.
Oh, that's fucking mad.
Yeah. Maybe it depends on how far
I drive
north,
pretty
but-
fast. I'll be like gunning at like probably like 100.
Okay, then probably an hour and a half to maybe close to 2 hours.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So,
Okay, that's mad.
anyways, yeah, dude. Wow, shit.
Let me guys, let us know in the comment section if we do round 2 of a podcast. What do you guys want to see us talk about? Like, I'm actually kind of curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear this too.
Because maybe that'll give us a different perspective on the kind of things that we can talk about and bring up for next time. So yeah, let's hear it, guys. Chuck it in the comments what you guys want to see out of Niall and myself. Just put it there.
Thank you guys again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Peace. You.